Da, 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 da. That was Small Town Blues from my friend Stephanie Forryan, singer Stephanie Forryan from Munich, Germany. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hello. Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. Very cold here in Ohio. Is it cold in Munich?
I've been freezing all day, but apparently it's not that cold out.
Okay. Okay. Let's get to some news and nonsense. I have something here. It looks like Samsung is going to release their Samsung Galaxy 8 phone next month. This is really nonsense, but it is kind of important because Samsung is hoping this will not be another hot phone like the last one of last year, considering what happened with the fires and the batteries and all that. But
hmm
the Galaxy S8, it looks like it's going to be huge, according to what I read.
hmm
They're going to have two sizes. One is 5.8 inches, which is almost as big as my HTC One Max,
hmm
and then something called the Plus, which is 6.2 inches. That's almost the size of a tablet.
I was gonna say that's more than a phablet, that's a tablet.
Yeah, I don't know about the six because this one is 5.9 and this barely fits in my cup holder in the car. But
Mm.
I don't know, but I think the best deal with this one, Stephanie, is when you buy these phones, you get a free little portable fire extinguisher to clip
I was
on.
just gonna ask.
I beat you to it. But yeah, so anyway, hopefully that'll not be a hot selling phone if that makes any sense. But yeah. Um, what else do I have here? I hope Samsung doesn't call me and say, hey, 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 I'm just kidding, Samsung. Jeez, calm down. Stephanie, did you know that there is a young girl, a young lady,
hmm
her name is Alexa Siri. Uh,
Really?
yeah, yeah, this is not a joke. Hang on, she's 21, a college student from New Jersey or New Jersey.
hmm
Anyway, she spells her first name is Alexa, like the Amazon,
hmm
but the last name is spelled Seary, Siri. And of
Oh.
course, jokes here and there, but she says her life has been a waking nightmare. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, look, maybe somehow she can use this so-called fame, become famous, and maybe make some money off of it. She deserves it, it seems. But she says when Siri came out, she says she got it all the time. If I introduced myself with my last name, she says people would always tie it to that. But
hmm
I don't know, Stephanie. You're in the show business. This might be an opportunity for her. What do you think?
Well, it really depends. If she would like to just live a quiet life as a unique individual, it's kind of hard, but if she's into using it as an advantage, then I think she should go for it.
Okay. Well, maybe I could have her call you for some, counseling. But yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I'm a total expert in being famous.
One day you're gonna be famous, and you better not forget us here on YouTube because I'm gonna be very
No,
angry at you. But no.
no worries.
Okay. Let's move on here. Okay, let's go to some nonsense. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, now these are all true. I make none of this up. Okay, this is from Mississippi. And I'm going to have a hard time reading this, but hard as in it makes me laugh. But here we go, Stephanie. Boy passes gas on Mississippi weatherman, forecasts farts and toots.
What?
I told you I could. Okay, this is from March 9th. A Mississippi meteorologist's live report was interrupted by a young boy who passed gas on the weatherman, forecasting his farts and toots. The weatherman, a Patrick Ellis, was delivering the weather Saturday for WLBT when a young boy ran into the camera frame. Are you sure? Are you crazy sure? The boy asked the weatherman. He says, we've got a little bit of interesting things going on right now. Anyway, to make a long story short, the young boy, Houston, is the son of a local lawyer who was in the studio doing a weekly program, ahead of the weekly program at the station for residents to call in and ask legal advice. So I guess the forecast for that forecast would have been extremely foggy.
That really stinks.
Good one, Stephanie. I like that one. Okay.
Yeah, you're starting to have an influence on my humor.
Okay. What else do I have here? Here's another one that. Uh, okay. I'm going to read this, but I bet you can't come up with a pun. Are you ready? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Again, this is not a hard one to read because it's just so ridiculous. But here we go, Stephanie.
Okay.
Miami lawyer's pants catch fire during arson trial.
Oh gosh.
Oh my. A Miami lawyer's, this is March 9th also. A Miami lawyer's pants caught on, and I'm laughing because I have a punchline ready to go, but let me just finish this.
Okay.
The lawyer's pants caught on fire while defending his client in an arson case. Smoke. Oh my God. Smoke began to rise out of the 28-year-old attorney's pants after he had been fiddling with his pocket while arguing that his client did not intentionally set his car on fire.
Goodness.
An observer says it was surreal. Duh. He was rushed out of the courtroom and he returned claiming the fire was the result of a faulty e-cigarette battery. Here we go with the batteries again. Anyway, I guess nobody was hurt. Okay, so do you have a pun for this? It's pretty obvious.
It probably should be, but no, I think I've used up my pun for today.
Liar,
Go
liar,
for it.
liar, liar, pants on fire.
That's not a pun. That's just a saying. I agree. It
Okay,
fits beautifully.
okay. Well then, I'm trying to think. Is there a true pun for this? But that was the first thing that popped in my mind.
I think you
Uh,
could only say like something like it's a hot headline, but that's kind of. But I'm
that
very good at being lame with puns,
Okay.
so
That would work. This was a hot headline. This was a hot case.
yeah. Okay,
Uh,
see, you're better. You're awesome.
this news article spread like wildfire.
There, you see, we need to leave the puns to you.
Okay. All right. I still like liar, liar, even though it's not really a pun.
I agree. I think that's the best.
Okay.
I had that in my head, but I was like, that's not a pun. I can't say
Okay.
that.
Well, I should have said it anyway. See, I gave you an opportunity, but no. Anyway, let's.
That's true. Yes, you were a gentleman.
Last one. This is kind of cool. This is entitled Squad Goals. Squad Goals. Spring break granny does shots with the girls. A Colorado grandma is being hailed as the hero of spring break after posting a picture of herself doing shots with the girls in Mexico. Wow. Her name is Doreen Gret. She came to internet attention when her granddaughter, Peyton, tweeted a screenshot of her grandma's Facebook page showing the elderly woman doing shots with 3 bathing suit-clad strangers on the beach in Mexico. Well, good for her. And I wonder if it was tequila. If it was, Stephanie, I have to catch a flight. See you later. Bye. No. I think that's cool. And she says that's a good shot in the video. Is she referring to the drink or the video? Ha ha. Well, good for her. So, yeah.
She's
Anyway.
so cool. She was probably referring to both.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
What do you have?
I've only got one thing today because it is leprechaun season with St. Patty's Day just around the
Ah,
corner. So
yes.
I found some fun leprechaun facts.
Okay.
Although I'm not sure if they're fun, they're just true.
Okay.
But I figured leprechauns are nonsense, so that fits. So number one, okay, like, we have, at least I have this image of leprechauns being like friendly.
Sure.
Apparently, in the original form, they were not friendly. Leprechauns made their first appearance in an 8th century poem.
Hmm.
King Fergus of Ulster was sleeping when the tiny, angry men sneakily tried to drag him into the ocean and drown him. They only stopped when he woke up, and he captured them.
Ooh.
So that was the very first. I didn't realize that.
Hmm.
And apparently, they didn't even live in Ireland. According to early tales, leprechauns lived in an undersea kingdom in the mid-Atlantic. So I guess they're from Atlantis.
Duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
3, they were all male. I don't think I've ever heard of one being female. So
I don't
that.
know. Yeah.
And did you realize that they fix your shoes? I guess
Okay.
I apparently don't know very much about leprechauns, but apparently people think they would fix your shoes, but it's a lie. They won't.
Okay.
But
That
if they were nice, they would help you breathe underwater.
okay. Next time I go swimming in Florida, sure. As I go fix my shoes at the shoe store. I don't know. Okay. Uh,
But I do have to say, I visited Ireland a couple of times,
uh-huh.
and I always had great experiences with the Irish people and the culture. But one thing I noticed, is maybe it was just coincidence, but every single time I was over there, there would be Irish people trying to trick me. And one of the things that was said to me by an Irishman was that they're not called leprechauns, they're called lepretians.
Huh?
And I
Okay.
said, really? And he said, of course he was lying. So I think he was a leprechaun.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think so.
He was trying
Or,
to throw me off their trail.
let me ask you this. Was he drunk when he said it?
He might have been.
Okay.
There was a lot of Guinness going around the room that night.
I'll see.
Yeah.
Um, the first thing that comes to mind when you mention like leprechauns is the cereal. The cereal. I mean, Lucky Charms. Let me have a bowl of Lucky Charms. I don't know
Hmm.
why. Isn't that like an Irish kind of theme commercial way back or something? I can't remember. So leprechauns, are they good luck or are they not bad luck?
I don't know, but apparently the crock of gold in the shoes,
Uh-huh.
not true. Apparently leprechauns exist, but the gold doesn't. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, on that.
I think this website might have just been looking for St. Patty's Day stuff.
Okay, well, on that high note, we can leave it there. Uh,
Sorry, I put a lot of energy into my research this
that's
week.
okay. That's okay. It is almost St. Patty's Day. Luck of the Irish. Ah, yes. Where's my tequila? Well, that's not Irish. That's more like Mexican. Never mind. But I still like tequila. Maybe I can mix it in with some Irish cream. Ha ha. But
Uh,
all right, Stephanie, thank you once again for joining me on another new Sunday night news and nonsense. Always the fun stuff from across the pond, across the Atlantic Ocean. In your case, you're still in Munich, right?
I am.
Okay, so guys, stay tuned. We're going to try and get Stephanie to do a live event for us from her room, and she'll be doing duets with her cat. No, I'm just kidding. But uh, so yeah, we'll see if we can get our schedules to match. Of course, she's in a different time zone, so we'll try to get that. I'll try to post an update and an announcement soon, and you guys can listen in on that wonderful, beautiful voice that is Stephanie Forryan. Check out her site, stephanieforryan.com. Make sure you check out her songs on Bandcamp, and like I always say, buy one, two, 300 of her CDs, here and there. Make her happy so she can buy what she needs to do to buy to write her music. Anyway, should I ask, would you like to try and take us out again?
Um, sure. Have a nice week, everyone.
Wonderful.
Sorry.
Have a
I think I
nice.
get lamer every week, but I really
Well,
do hope you have a great week.
well, the last one was okay. Avita, Velveeta Zerd. What did you say in German?
Auf Wiederhören.
Avita. It sounded like Velveeta, but okay, that was okay. I'm sorry. How,
Okay.
how do you say it again in German? Goodbye.
Auf Wiederhören.
Avita
Hmm.
Ho, 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 ho.
Very good.
Okay. On that note, Avita ho, and we'll catch you next time for some more news and nonsense. Ciao.